You spoke about the youth of Kenya, and I'm wondering if you would just discuss their future.
Thank you very much. The youth are a part of the Kenyan community that give me sleepless nights. They give me sleepless night because of, as I mentioned in my presentation today, if you look at the demographics, 60% under the ages of 16, 50% under the ages of 15. With those kinds of demographics, if you don't have in place a really meaningful and a comprehensive program for education and vocational training and enterprise development, you are just courting a major crisis. We have seen on the part of the youth the tendency to have a sort of an I don't care attitude because they feel they've been left behind. They feel that they're not a part of the country. They feel that the leadership and the government doesn't pay much attention to them. And I think to a large extent, they have been right. It wasn't until just recently that we started specifically focusing on the issue and the concerns of the youth. And it is a whole range of things, everything from education to vocational training, to employment, to enterprise development, that for the longest time, we just did not pay attention to. And we started paying dearly for it. The insecurity that we see in our country is because there's too many young people who, again, with a sense of hopelessness, a sense of no direction, who feel that the only way for them to earn a living, the only way for them to survive is through crime. So we have extremely high crime rates among the youth. We have extremely high rates of use and abuse of drugs among the youth. But that's because they're feeling desperate. There's a sense of desperation. And my hope and prayer is that with the renewed emphasis and focus on the youth, we have put in place quite a number of programs. We have what we call the Youth Enterprise Program and the Youth Enterprise Fund. This is a fund that gives young people access to credit to help them to set up little businesses of their own. It provides training for them so that they get the right skills in terms of the business, but also the business skills. We have also established, we are now revamping completely our polytechnics and vocational training centers. For many years, we let those fall behind in terms of maintenance and management and quality. The government is reinvesting afresh in polytechnics. With the new constitution, each and every county is going to have what we are calling a model polytechnic, with the idea that you will have youth will have an opportunity to train in a wide range of vocational activities and have skills which then they can use subsequently either to seek employment, but they will also be learning business skills, how to set up their own businesses and create jobs for themselves and other people as well. So there is a focus on the youth now. I'm quite excited about it. We, in the last 7 years, introduced the free primary education program, which ensures that now that our children are able to at least to complete primary school, which is the first 8 years of school. We have now extended that to the secondary school as well, because before that you had a situation where the dropout rates, the attrition from primary school was incredible. Only 25% would get to the last year of their primary school. With making secondary school also free, we now have a situation where we'll be able to absorb quite a number of kids who finish their primary education but cannot continue on to secondary for poverty reasons. Their parents just can't afford it. So that's now been opened up with a free education. Every kid who completes primary school will now be able to enter and do 4 years of secondary school. And I think that will make a difference. So that, together with the vocational training programs that we are installing, these enterprise funds and the introduction of microcredit facilities in many commercial banks, I think will make a big difference.
Are the people of Kenya, in terms of thinking of the future of their youth, convinced that implementation of the Constitution will be critical to their futures?
The people of Kenya do not even have to be convinced. It is the youth themselves who are convinced. They came out in huge numbers to vote for this particular constitution. 50% of the people who registered to vote in the referendum, 50% of them were newly registered voters, and a significant number of those were people between the ages of 18 and 25. They came out. We have youth groups all over the country, community-based organizations that work with youth, who conducted civic education programs about what is it that is in this constitution for the youth. So the youth came out very much to provide the civic education, but also to mobilize other youth to participate in the referendum, because the message to them was, this constitution has something for us. So my feeling and my sense is that because of their participation in the referendum, the youth are going to be extremely vigilant in seeing to it that this new constitution is implemented. And they have the numbers. And so if they decide and if they're determined to monitor what happens with this new constitution, I think it will happen.